Hey, welcome back to Story Not Story, the podcast I do with my husband. He's here with me.
It's actually the podcast I do with my wife.
No. That's not what we decided. Unilaterally, just now. But I was the only one that voted.
Oh. Hey, what is this podcast in case people don't know?
Who even knows?
Oh.
Who even?
I don't know.
No, I know. It's a podcast where we tell each other stories that we make up on the spot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes using suggestions from our listeners.
Yeah, and sometimes suggestions from our brain holes.
Yeah, and sometimes suggestions from cereal boxes.
We have never done that.
No, but we could.
We could. It would be, I think, I would do one about riboflavin.
Riboflavin?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, because that's in everything. Cereal and everything. What is riboflavin?
It's where the flavins come from.
It's an actual land?
No, like, you know when you taste something and you're like, this has a good flavin.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where it comes from.
It comes from riboflavin.
Yep.
It doesn't really answer my question. I don't feel
that
more enlightened.
An in-depth scientific answer. Maybe you just couldn't understand it because I'm so much smarter about science than you are.
Oh. I think this podcast needs an intro song of some kind.
It does.
Yeah. Like a lullaby kind of thing.
Doop boop 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 boo doop boop boop boop. That's not a lullaby.
Doop boop. Yeah, it is. Sure.
No.
I was about to do dings behind you.
Oh, okay.
Try it.
Doop boop 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 boo doop boop 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 boop.
Ding ding ding.
Doo
Doo doo doo.
boop
Ding.
boop 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 boop
Ding.
boop boop.
The story's in bed.
That's
the Twitter. That's the Twitter handle. Stories in Bed, not the name of the show. Story Not Story. Our Twitter handle is Stories in Bed. Our Facebook is Facebook.com/Story Not Story. I think in the last one I said it was Story Not Story Podcast.
Yeah.
Even though it's not.
It's not, though.
The Instagram is Story Not Story Podcast. The Gmail is Story Not Story Podcast at Gmail. And you can send us stuff and we're on SoundCloud and YouTube, and you can send us suggestions for stories and pictures of our stories, which we will repost.
Yeah, or you could just send us money or
Well, actually, if you want to support, right now I'm linking to the Wheezy Waiter Patreon, but we should probably get our own Patreon or something.
Oh, yeah, we should get our own Patreon.
But we're not doing that right now. What we're doing now is telling stories.
That's what we're going to do right now.
Yeah, hey, China, could you tell me a story?
Yeah.
I have a suggestion right here.
I think I went first last week, but I will go first this week again.
It's fine. This isn't a contest.
It's a contest.
I don't know what that doesn't mean it's a contest. Anyway, from Jenna Griffith. Uh-huh. She wrote an email to us, I believe.
Hey, thanks for emailing us, Jenna.
At storynotstorypodcast@gmail.com. We didn't get very many emails this time, and I'm a little sad about it. Can you guys send us emails?
Craig is crying really hard right now. We're actually about to drown in his tears. Breathe.
Oh, I died for a second.
Yeah, but You're alive now.
Okay.
Because we haven't told the stories yet. You can die after the podcast.
Okay, wow. It's all done, after we're completely done with all episodes.
After podcasts no longer exist.
Which will be a long time.
A long time.
So she sent an email. Uh-huh. Send us an email, by the way. Just say hi, okay? Anyway, she said, "Hi, I just got a little Havanese black and white puppy." That's how you pronounce it? Havanese?
I think so.
Named Kubo. Recently, I had a dream that included lots of doggies that looked like Kubo, including your dog Mitzi. Can you tell a story about Kubo and Mitzi on an adventure together? Sweet dreams, Jenna.
That's the perfect sign-off for this podcast.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Mitzi is our dog.
Mitzi is our dog.
Mm-hmm.
And Kubo is her dog.
Mitzi is a little Shih Tzu.
Yeah, she's a Shih Tzu. Maybe a mix. We're not 100% sure.
We're not 100% sure.
We didn't get her until she was 7.
She's a little adorable.
Ooh.
Little adorable.
Little
Mitzi. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to tell a story
Tell me
about
a story, yeah.
Mitzi and Kubo. Well, Craig and I already know that this story is entirely fictional because if there's one thing we know about our dog Mitzi, It's that Mitzi hates other dogs.
She does.
She hates dogs.
Well, maybe she hates Kubo in this story.
I think that's going to be a part of it. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So.
She can tolerate dogs eventually.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give away the story.
Oh.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Goodness.
Sorry, not sorry. Oh.
That's where the name of the podcast came from. That's what it's based on.
This is the first time we did this, though. Wow, I can't believe it took this long.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
This episode has a lot of preamble.
Yeah.
A lot of preamble. A lot of setup.
We're just having a good time.
We're just having a good time.
We're just having fun.
That's right.
Okay, so one day, a couple months ago, Craig, maybe you'll remember this happening. We woke up in the morning to a knock on the door. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And we were like, who the heck's at the door? And Mitzi jumped up and she was barking because that's what she does when someone comes to the door. She was like, woof, woof.
That happened like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. That was the Amazon guy, though.
Oh, okay.
Delivering a package.
All right.
This was This was months ago. Remember?
Okay.
Remember back when this happened?
I remember several times this happening.
Okay.
Yes.
So we all go to the door, and Mitzi's like, grr, woof, 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 grr, like that. That's a direct quote.
Yeah, she sounds exactly like a human trying to sound like a dog. It's really weird.
It's super weird.
Mm-hmm.
And we open the door, and we look out, and it appears as though no one is there. But then we look down, and we see this little black and white Havanese puppy with a collar and a name tag on it that says Kubo.
I remember this.
Yeah, and we were like, Kubo, what the heck are you doing here? And he didn't say anything because he's a dog.
Right.
And Mitzi was going crazy. She was barking and barking and barking because she does not like other dogs. And this dog was here at her house. What the heck? Kubo. But Kubo's just a little puppy, and Kubo doesn't know any better. And Kubo wanted to be friends with Mitzi, so that's why he came over to our house that day. Mm-hmm. And so we let Kubo in, which Mitzi was not happy about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah, I also remember being very concerned about whose dog is this and why is it at our door?
Sure. Well, the other side of the name tag said, I'm Jenna's dog, and sometimes I go on adventures and it's okay.
Yeah, and then I saw that and then I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Remember when you saw that and you were like, oh, cool, whatever?
Yeah, and then I went and got a sparkling water from the fridge and relaxed.
Yeah, that's what you did. Mm-hmm. And so we were, just hanging out, and Mitzi was trying to keep Kubo in line because Kubo is just a little puppy, and he was there to have an adventure. And Mitzi's not really the adventuring type, let me tell you what. No. Lazy. She's a lazy bones. Mm-hmm. And she's also not great at sharing. Mm-hmm. And Kubo's a puppy. Kubo loves playing with toys, playing tug, playing fetch. And so Kubo is like, in Mitzi language, because they can speak to each other. We couldn't understand this, but...
How did you know they could speak to each other?
Well, they're both dogs.
Oh yeah, it's just common knowledge.
Dogs can communicate with one another,
Yeah.
So, anyway, Kubo's like, Mitzi, you want to play with me? What if I grab one end of this toy and you grab the other end of this toy, and then we can, tug on it and, have a really good time? And Mitzi's like, you leave me alone and you leave my toys alone. I'm going to go lay down over here. You don't touch anything. Bark, 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 bark.
Yeah.
And Kubo's like, oh. And then, but he has pretty short memory. So Mitzi goes and lays down, and he's like, oh, look, there's a ball over there. So he goes and he picks up the ball, and he's shaking it and throwing it up in the air and catching it and everything. And Mitzi gets pretty mad about this.
Uh-oh.
So she comes over and she's like, what did I tell you about touching my toys?
Mitzi's not coming across as very nice in this story.
Well, she's not nice to dogs.
Right.
And Kubo's like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. This ball that you have just looked like so much fun. Maybe we could play with the ball together. Wouldn't that be really cool, Mitzi? And Mitzi was like, no, I only play with the ball by myself. Don't touch my stuff. And she went and laid back down, and Kubo was like, Oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe I'll just like go over here and see what these guys are up to. So Kubo came over to us on the couch and he jumped up and he was like, oh, hey guys, what's up? What you doing? And like wagging his little puppy tail and stuff, which was really cute. But we obviously didn't understand what he was saying because he's a dog and he doesn't speak English.
Right.
But we just saw a really cute puppy. So we were like, oh, Kubo, good dog. And we like pet him and stuff. Mitzi got real mad about that.
Was I still drinking soda water?
You had finished it.
Oh, okay.
At this point.
Wow, I chugged that.
Yeah, you were really thirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a thirsty guy.
I'm a thirsty dude. I run a lot.
You know, you gotta stay hydrated. It's very important.
It's true.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is, Mitzi was being a real you-know-what.
A female
Kubo.
dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Kubo.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't going so well. And Kubo just wanted to, like, play and be her friend and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not really working out. So hours pass, and more of the same. Kubo would, like, you know, try to play with Mitzi, and she just wasn't having it and everything. And we would, like, try to mediate between the two of them and make her not be such a you-know-what.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't really working. And so we finally left them alone, and Kubo curled up on the floor because Mitzi obviously wouldn't let him curl up on the couch because that's her couch.
Mm-hmm.
And was just looking real sad and everything. And Mitzi would get up and walk over to him every once in a while and just kind of like growl at him and make sure he knew who was boss, because that's what she does.
Oh yeah.
With dogs. And then finally Kubo was like, well, it's getting kind of late, so I guess I'm gonna get going, and thanks for having me over, and bye, Mitzi.
Aww.
Yeah, and he was kind of sad
Aww.
because he was here on an adventure to make a friend and to play.
Yeah.
And Mitzi was being real mean to him.
Is this the end?
The end.
Oh, wow.
No.
Oh.
No. It gets better.
Oh, okay.
I think. Maybe. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah. And so Kubo started to leave, and Mitzi was like, wait, why is Kubo leaving? Because, you know, she thought everybody was having a really good time with her being the boss.
She thought she was having a really good
She
time.
thought she was having a really good time.
Yeah.
And she was like, why is Kubo leaving? What's going on? And Kubo was like, well, you know, I was just going to go home because I just got the impression that you really didn't want me here. You haven't been very nice to me, and you're not sharing your toys, and you're not playing with me or anything. So I just, you know, I thought maybe you wanted me to go.
Bark, bark.
Bark, bark.
Yeah.
A bark, bark, bark.
Yeah.
And Mitzi was like, oh, that I was being mean? And that makes other animals not want to be around me. Oh.
I really wish in real life she would realize that.
I know. It would be amazing. So in this story, though, she had this moment of enlightenment, and she was like, Kubo, I'm so sorry for being such a you-know-what. And Kubo was like, I don't know words, so I don't really know what, but you were being mean.
But Kubo does know words. They've been saying words.
Well, yeah, but we just keep calling it a you-know-what, and he doesn't know what that is.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because he's just a puppy.
Right. He doesn't know big dog words.
Yeah. Those are words for grown-up dogs.
Yeah.
And what was I saying? And
we're doing a podcast. It's called Story Not Story.
I fell asleep.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, anyway, she was like apologizing for being such a you-know-what. And she was like, Kubo, what if you stayed over here tonight and we had a sleepover? And Kubo was like, are you sure? I can go home if you don't want me here. And she was like, no, I think it'll be really fun. Here, why don't you pull on one end of this toy and I'll pull on the other end and we can like play tug. Do you want to do that? And Kubo was like, I do really like Tug.
Mm-hmm.
And so they played and they shared toys, and they both came and got pet by us and cuddled and loved on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a really good time. And at night, when it was time to go to bed, they curled up next to each other on the couch and they cuddled.
Oh,
yeah. And
this is an adorable story now.
And then as the months went on, sometimes Kubo would come back and visit us, and sometimes Mitzi would go and visit him, and they would have a really good time. And they would go to the park and roll around on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and bark at squirrels and all sorts of cute stuff.
Was Mitzi still mean to other animals?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't really fully learn her lesson, but she
Yeah.
and Kubo learned to love each other, and they were best friends.
Huh. Well, that's just a really adorable, happy story, isn't it?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that she had to put Kubo through all that sadness at first.
That was pretty sad.
But Kubo was a really good friend to her for forgiving her.
Oh, yeah.
For being such a you-know-what.
Yeah, most animals would just, be like, this Mitzi character is a you-know-what.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. And then they would leave.
Yeah.
That's from The State. That's a recurring thing on the old MTV show The State. Michael Showalter. He would go, I'm out of here. I didn't even do that on purpose. I apologize. I hope we don't get sued.
I do not know or understand that reference at all.
Okay.
And
I'm old.
you're so old.
I'm so old. Hey, here's the thing.
Yeah. My story's over. Maybe you could tell me a story.
Okay. Why don't you just tell me what it should be about?
Okay. I don't know because the list isn't here.
Well, you can just tell me what it should be about.
Okay. It should be about... Okay, I just get to make up a suggestion.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, because the list is gone. I think that you should tell me a story about a baby elephant.
A baby elephant?
A baby elephant who
All animal-based today.
who got separated from its mother,
Okay.
and it's trying to find her.
Okay. A baby... You're telling the story for
And
me.
its name is Dan.
We normally don't get
No,
this
its name isn't
specific
Dan.
before the story starts.
I know,
Okay.
but the suggestions from other people have been more specific than
Mm-hmm.
ours, and I like it.
So it's a story about a baby elephant that's been separated from its mother.
Yeah, it's trying to find her.
But I get to name it.
Yeah.
Well, the name of this baby is Dan. And okay, so there once was this baby elephant. Okay,
What was its name?
Dan,
Okay.
and it lived in the desert. No, the jungle. No, somewhere where elephants live. The jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was born by a mother elephant.
Okay. And also from
As
both
well.
by and from a mother.
Yeah, the mother birthed it as well as made it possible to be birthed.
Yep.
Well, with the help of a father
Sure.
elephant.
I mean, we assume.
The mom and dad's names were Daniela was the mom,
Oh,
and the dad's name was Steve.
Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Steve the elephant.
Mm-hmm. They, the mom, like, one of her favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's this watering hole
Sure.
out in the, like, once you get out of the forest, out in kind of a deserty clearing.
Sure.
There was this water hole that she loved to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd go to that
Mm-hmm.
and just roll around and bathe.
Yeah.
She'd be like, that's elephant for, oh my gosh, this watering hole is so comfortable. I love it a very lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elephants are really efficient with their speech.
And also bad at grammar.
Sure. I love it a very lot.
Yeah, yeah. She's an elephant. Give her a break.
Okay.
but don't give her a break because she abandoned her kid one day because she went out to bathe in the watering hole. She thought Dan was behind her.
Oh, no.
But Dan, you see, she was like, hey, we're going to the watering hole. Let's do it. But she said it like this. She said, and
I think I understood that.
Yeah, which she thought was we're going to the watering hole, and what she actually said was, we're going to the watering hotel.
Oh no!
Because that in elephant speak is this. You can see the similarity.
It's pretty much exactly the same.
No, it was a little different.
It's a little different, but yeah, I can see how you'd be confused. What I'm confused about is how does she mess up elephant language enough to say this other thing that's really close to what she meant to say, but her young child who's been an elephant for way less time than she has understands perfectly clearly the difference between the two.
Well, Dan has been hanging out with some kids from the gifted tribe.
Okay. So Dan has like a firm mastery of elephant language.
I wouldn't say firm mastery.
And his mom is just real dumb.
His mom never bothered to like meticulously learn the language. She knows enough to speak, to get what she needs, to communicate.
Sure.
But misunderstandings do arise sometimes.
Okay. Well, I wonder what happens next.
Dan was hanging out with the gifted tribe a lot and learning this. I didn't want to get into all of this, but
I'm sorry. I just was confused about what happened.
I understand.
All right, you can get back to it.
But yeah, the mom kind of a dunce when it comes to language, but it's also, to be fair, very complex language, and it's all very nuanced. I mean, you heard that how similar it was.
It's pretty nuancy.
Yeah, it's very nuancy.
Nuancy.
And anyway, misunderstood her. He started heading right for the watering hotel.
Oh no.
Which is this hotel, kind of on the edge of the forest, that was made by a billionaire who thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to have a hotel in the middle of the jungle?
This is a human hotel, a normal human hotel. This isn't for animals. This isn't like an animal hotel.
No, this is a human hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, but the animals know about it because it's got a lot of water running through it. It's built by a waterfall, and it kind of mixes in with the waterfall, and there's like water going around different places, and then it makes a puddle at the bottom, which they call the watering hotel. Well, they call it, but that's elephant for water. I might be getting it a little wrong. Okay. But they call it the watering hotel, so it's another watering hole.
Okay. But not the one that Daniela likes to frequent.
No. But you see, she's going away to the watering hole, and Dan's like, "Oh, let me grab my water bucket first." So he runs back to get the water bucket. That's why they separate. And then and his water bucket is like this it's like coconut shell sort of thing that he with a vine that he puts around his trunk, and he carries it to bring back some water.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, he usually ends up just drinking it on the way back anyway.
Sure, I mean it's a journey. It's hot out there.
Yeah, have you been to the watering hole? It's a long walk.
I haven't. Have you?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh wow. Did you take pictures?
No, this was before the iPhone, and everyone had cameras. You didn't bring a
disposable camera?
No.
Why not?
I was busy.
You were on this big adventure and you didn't want to capture it?
I like to take adventures and keep it in my memory.
Oh.
Not in my pictures.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, he heads to the watering hotel. Okay.
To catch up with her, because that's where she accidentally said she was going.
And here's the thing. So these Dan is pretty smart. He's smarter than a usual elephant, and he hung out with the gifted elephants. So he was one of the more intelligent elephants.
Yeah.
Most intelligent elephants come from intelligent elephant families, and they're taught to avoid humans. They're taught, so humans are unaware of how intelligent elephants can be. Of these really intelligent ones. We only see the dumb ones.
Wow.
But it just so happens, Dan, since he's raised by a non-gifted elephant, didn't know, and he doesn't avoid the humans. He goes to the water hotel, the Water Inn Hotel. Mm-hmm. He goes there, and wouldn't you know it, the billionaire who owns the Water Inn Hotel happens to be there at that time.
Whoa.
And his name is Ignatius Moneybags.
Whoa.
He changed his name.
Okay, that's not his given name.
Well, no, Moneybags is his given last name.
But he changed his first name.
Yeah, his first name was Carl.
I knew it was Carl.
You knew it?
Yeah, because I read about him.
Wait, is there another story I told with a name character named Carl?
Probably. You kind of go for the Carls and the Garys.
It might be the same guy, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's changed his name.
To Ignatius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ignatius Moneybags.
Ignatius Moneybags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to name our baby?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought this was...
I gave it away.
What?
Oh, no. Announcement.
Oh, no. It doesn't even matter, because Ignatius could be a boy or a girl.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter which one it ends up being.
Yeah.
Ignatia for girl, Moneybags.
Okay.
And Ignatius if it's a boy.
Okay, Ignatia. Yeah. That sounds like a skin condition.
Well, she's just going to have to deal with that.
Okay. So, Ignatius Moneybags sees Dan gathering water into his coconut water bucket.
Water bucket.
And he's like, "Ain't that the darndest thing? Shoot. That elephant there is plumb filling water up in that dag-burn watering hole bucket thing. Yeah.
Good golly.
Good golly gee. Ma, come here." And then he remembered that he wasn't at home and his ma wasn't there. So his mom didn't come. But he immediately thought, that is an intelligent elephant, if you will, and I am going to take it.
To take it?
And display. I'm going to train it and display it.
Wow, I do not like this guy.
It seems like I'm heading towards another circus scenario, like my previous story, but no, I'm not.
Okay.
This is he trains the elephant. He takes it.
How much time is elapsing right now?
Well, right now is when time is starting to elapse quite a bit.
Okay.
He takes the elephant.
I'm so sorry.
Brings it into his private plane. It's still small enough. He can do that. And flies it back to his home.
Oh.
Separates from.
No.
I know, it's unfortunate.
Where's his home?
His home?
Yeah. Where does he fly it to? East Philadelphia.
Just outside East Philadelphia, actually. Yeah. That's where he lives. It's
like a suburb of East Philadelphia.
Moneybags is they're like a dynasty in Philadelphia. They've been around for a long time. They put a lot of money into Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Because Philadelphia's an old, relative for the U.S., an old city.
Right.
And they've been around since colonial times. And so they have lots of money. They have mansions. Takes him... Dan gets his own mansion.
What?
Yeah, his own little elephant mansion.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. And he trains him. And he trains him to... he can communicate with humans in ways that elephants couldn't before. He can he teaches him some. It's like sort of like Morse code, but it's with elephant sounds. Like.
Okay.
Yeah, and Dan becomes a stockbroker.
What?
Yeah, he's like a.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, he's very good at understanding the markets, and he helps people with their money and investing in stocks.
Dan the elephant stockbroker.
He's a genius. He's a genius.
Right.
These gifted elephants in the jungle, they're all this smart. They just their potential has never been unlocked because they're smart enough to avoid humans.
Right.
Dan does this. He's very good at it, but he misses his mom.
Oh, how much time has elapsed?
At this point, 5 years.
Oh, man.
He becomes a successful stockbroker in Philadelphia in 5 years.
What's happening with the mom back in the jungle?
She's pretty heartbroken.
I'm sure.
She's still doing the same stuff she's always been doing.
Going to the watering hole.
Going to the watering hole, and Steve is still gathering food for them. And
did they stay together? Sometimes when this happens to a child, the parents, they're too heartbroken and there's a lot of blame.
They were never really together that much, to be honest with you. But they still associate with each other.
All right.
It's just elephant culture.
I see.
You know.
Yeah, I don't really know elephant culture that well, I guess.
Not as well as I do.
Yeah.
And so Dan, he's now a fully grown elephant. He's big, and he can't leave the mansion because society does not like it when elephants are walking down the street.
Sure.
He learned that the hard way.
Oh, no. Because he walked down the street and someone was like, I don't like this.
Yes, so then he went back home.
Yeah.
That was the incident.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I read about that in a paper.
Yeah. The elephant that came outside and then went back.
Yep.
And so he just wants to get back to the jungle. And he figured out, like, he's smart enough. He knows how to get back. He knows where it is. He just can't get there.
Yeah, because he can't fly a plane. Oh.
Well, he can't get on the plane, really, is the thing.
There's really big planes, though. Like ones that they transport, like military vehicles in.
But he can't get on it because he can't get through military. They're going to see him.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he is an elephant.
Right.
He's not really.
Right. Until one day, a military plane pilot comes to him he's like, listen, I just won the lottery and I need to know what to do with my money.
Whoa.
He comes to Ignatius Moneybags, and he's like, golly, son, gibbity, have I got the right broker for you? He's gonna broke you up real good. You're gonna be broke. I mean, you're gonna be rich. And this pilot, Baron von Kevin.
It's a weird last name.
Baron von Kevin, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the family name was Kevin-Teen, but they changed it when they came over.
That happens a lot with immigration.
Yeah. Ignatius
Can't wait to know.
Ignatius brings him over to Dan, the stockbroker elephant.
Yeah.
And Dan and Baron Von. Baron, he likes to go by Von.
Von.
Actually. Von. Von, he's like, listen, I got all this money. What do I do with it? And he's like, wait, you're a pilot? And he's like, yeah. All right, listen, I'll do this for free. I will double your money. I will double your millions that you just won if you can fly me back to the jungle to my mom.
Whoa.
And Von is like, yeah, that's cool. Whatever. And so Dan takes his money. He invests in this new company that he's been reading their portfolio, and he's been doing the research. And it's this little company it's this new fledgling company called Google.
Oh, what's a Google?
It's this search engine, but it's so much more.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm skeptical.
He puts all of his money in Google, which was a very risky move.
Yeah.
Not a good start. But he figured this is his only hope. He had to double the guy's money.
Right.
He probably shouldn't have just came out and promised that he'd double it right away. He probably could have done a lot less.
That's pretty risky.
Yeah. And Google, it's there's all these other search engines that are competing, and he's like, well, Lycos is doing pretty good, and Alta Vista's doing pretty good. Oh, no.
And what about that Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves? Who would have thought a butler would do so good at searching? and so what he does is calls up all of his clients who are powerful, rich, powerful people, and tells them all to just use Google and to instruct all of their employees to use Google. And they tell their friends, and they tell their friends. At the same time, he has several clients who work for all these other search engines. Makes them go bankrupt.
Well, that's pretty awful.
He messes up their money in the stocks and kind of destroys the companies.
Oh,
and
no.
Google becomes...
This is how Google came to be what Google is?
Pretty much.
Because of an elephant.
Because of an elephant.
Wow, you guys heard it here first.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
And Google doubles its stock.
Wow.
And Vaughn flies Dan back to the jungle. It takes him a while, but he finds his mother. And joins her at the watering hole.
The watering hole.
And he teaches her how to say it.
Nice. That's useful.
He's like, Mom. That's elephant for, listen, I went to East Philadelphia and I became a stockbroker, and then I invested in Google and sabotaged all of the other companies that were competing with Google, and in order to double its stock so that I could fly or ride in a military jet that piloted by a guy named Vaughn, so that I could reunite with you and then teach you that this is how you say watering hole, and you accidentally said watering hotel, and that's why we separated, and I love you. Wow.
Elephant language is so complicated.
It's very complicated.
Yeah.
And he never went back to East Philadelphia, never thought about stocks again. He was just happy in his watering hole.
Being an elephant.
Yeah. Maybe someday he'd find a lady elephant. And have a little elephant of his own.
Maybe that can be part 2 someday.
Who knows? The end.
Nice. What are our stories called?
Oh, no. What are they called? What's yours called?
Well, mine is called...
Kubo and the Mitz strings.
Sure.
Kubo and the Mitz strings. If you're unaware, there's a movie called Kubo and the Two Strings, which is a good movie.
It's a really
very
good movie. Yeah.
But Kubo and the Mitz strings. Even though there aren't strings in the story, really.
There were probably strings somewhere.
That's true.
Just around.
Sure.
You know.
My story is called the
Dan the Elephant Stockbroker.
The Big Short, but for elephants.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it really isn't the same as The Big Short.
Well, I didn't mention, it was kind of implied, but he also shorted the companies that failed.
Oh.
And
Dan's probably like the richest elephant ever.
He's doing pretty well in that jungle. The Big Short, but for elephants.
They don't even need money, elephants.
They do now.
Oh, okay.
In that jungle.
Oh.
Yeah. Dan created a whole economy there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So those are our stories for this week.
Yeah.
We put these out every Friday.
Every Friday.
So please, if you like it, go rate it maybe on iTunes or anywhere.
Yeah,
And
leave us a review.
Last time I think we told you to tell your mom about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your dad about our podcast this
tell
time.
your dad. Dads love us.
Dads love us.
Yeah.
My dad loves me.
Yeah, my dad loves me. I think your dad also loves me, and my dad also loves you.
Yeah, a lot of dad love going on here. So tell your dads. They like this. Yeah. And I think that's so. We need a closing song too.
Yeah. Okay. I've already forgotten our opening song, but okay.
Goes like this. Do 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 do. Good night.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah?
Well, it's okay. It's so good. Oh,
Thanks.
his face just fell. You're crushed.
It was great.
It was great. Can you do it again, baby?
Do 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 do. Good night. That was great.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.